Welcome to this week's edition of Let's Go Farming, and we are at Nkweli Farms in Sinkobo area of Livingstone District. On the program today, we will be looking at horticulture with Owen Lisulo, who is our farmer for this episode. We're now joined by Mr. Owen Lisulo, who is the farmer for today. How are you, sir? Welcome to Let's Go Farming.
I'm very fine, thanks. How are you? You are welcome.
Okay, no, we really appreciate for having us here. So yeah, you are into horticulture and also you do irrigation. Can you explain to us before we go into details and before you show us what you do? Give us a brief background about who is you, the people out there want to know you. Who is Mr. Lisulo?
Okay, so as you have heard, my name's Owen Lisulo. I'm the proprietor of Nkweli Farms, where we are actually situated is in Sinkobo, just out in the outskirts of Livingstone. So I do have a full-time job, and I had the passion to do farming from when I was a child.
Okay.
And that's the reason why I still want my children as well to start learning how to do farming and develop that passion while they are still young.
Okay.
And I felt that I needed to also venture into some business that I love to do, so that when I retire, I can fully be active on the farm.
Okay. All right. So before wasting much of the time, I know you have got a lot of things that you need to show us and the viewers as well. So at this particular time, we're going to leave you so that you show us what you are doing. So for now, let's just stay tuned as we learn more from Mr. Lisulo and see what he does here exactly.
This is a cabbage field. We intend to plant about 10,000 plants. We are staging it. So this is the first 2,500 plants that we have. We do drip irrigation because this is a smart way of conserving water. As you know, water is a problem, especially this year, because of the drought that Zambia has experienced. So we find this method of farming to be to conserve a lot of water, and we know that by so doing, our plants as well will be getting water, adequate water. So this cabbage is F1, which is a hybrid, cabbage. And before we even start doing this, we make sure that we make these cornrows. These are good because, say, in rain season, when there's lots of rain, we let the water go through the little valleys there, and then our cabbages don't get so much water that we don't necessarily need. And that's the reason why we are actually making ridges this way. And we do put a lot of manure in here before we plant, and we drench it to kill some of the cutworms and a few other insects or pests that would be detrimental to the small plant that we would be planting. This is watered 24/7 from our solar pumps. We are not running on Zesco. We are actually running on solar. Another reason why we want to invest in green energy is so that we don't spend so much money as well, to pump 24/7. These cabbages are only 2 weeks old. We planted them 2 weeks ago, and at this stage we have to there is a spraying program that happens every week, and right now we are ready to spray some organic fertilizer that that helps it. Develop the root system and also and the leaf system as well. These are the two organic fertilizers. This one is a water-soluble organic fertilizer, which we mix with this one, which is a biostimulant fertilizer. We mix it together and we spray it every second week. After the break, I will show you how we spray the cabbages. Thank you. Welcome back. Before we went on a break, I was just talking about our organic fertilizers that we use, and we are super excited to show you how that is done. We've already mixed them in our 16-liter sprayer, and I will demonstrate how we do this, how we spray. So you make sure that you prime your sprayer, and we love to shake, just make sure that the mix is good, and then and then we spray. You make sure that you are not wasteful. So you make sure that when you are spraying, you make sure that the plant is well sprayed, and make sure that you don't only spray the leaves. You make sure that the roots too are sprayed. The reason why we are also spraying the soil is that the soil can harbor some pests that could be very dangerous to our crops, and that's the reason why when we are spraying, we make sure that even in between where there are no plants, we spray so that we are able to destroy the pests. It is very important to practice what is called crop hygiene. As you can see, our garden looks very clean. It's smart. It doesn't have weeds, so it's very important to keep what we call crop hygiene. So this is how we do our spraying. Like I told you, I was going to demonstrate. So this is how we do our spraying. So we are done with our spraying now, and we'll go on a break. Come back from our break, and I wanted to show you how you need to be very vigilant when you are taking care of vegetables, because sometimes they do get attacked, with lots of diseases, among which you would have what is called leaf miner, and you have to make sure that you inspect every crop. And when you look at one like this one, you have to pay attention to the color of your leaf, and see also the structure of the leaf. If it's folded, then you will know that it's either lacking water, or perhaps it may be attacked by some diseases. So you come closer to this, and that's the reason why I was explaining about spraying the crops. And you make sure that you do a closer inspection, so that, because you may not know where the disease will actually start from. It can start from the from the mouth of your drip lines. It might be at the end, it might be in the middle, and that's why it's very important to do a very close inspection. And after some time, what you do is that you may see that this plant has some leaves that are already touching the ground. These ones, we do remove them. We remove these ones because it's very easy for these ones to catch diseases. Because they are right on the ground. So these ones would be the first leaves that you get, when you transplant the cabbages from the greenhouse or from your nursery bed. So these ones, you remove them so that you have this. As you can see, this crop, it does not have any leaf, touching the ground, which is how it is supposed to be or look like. So that's it about my cabbage. This is how I grow my cabbage, and I'm going to now take you to my next crop, which is green pepper. It's already grown, and it's got a little bit of some weeds. Remember, I told you that you have to make sure that there is very good crop hygiene, and my green pepper does not have very good crop hygiene, and I'm going to show you how it's supposed to be taken care of by weeding. Now we are in the next crop that I was telling you about. This is our green pepper. Like I said, it is very good to practice crop hygiene. This is so because you would be stopping your crops from competing for water and nutrients, so that your crops can grow healthy. I'm sure you can see that our green peppers are not looking very, very healthy. This is because of the weeds that are in here. As you can see here, I have my plant of green pepper, but next to it is a weed. So obviously this is not good for farming, and it's not very good for this crop. Some of these weeds are actually vectors of diseases, so they can easily carry a disease that they can so easily transfer to our plant, our green pepper. So it is very important that you uproot these ones, because when you do so, it means that as you can see, it was actually a little bit difficult for me to remove this weed, because it was so deep rooted in the soil, and definitely competes for nutrients and water. And so this is important that when you are actually weeding, you make sure that the roots are completely out. But if you break just the top, it means that these roots are still active and they can still compete. Your garden will look clean, but your plants will be looking unhealthy, because the same root system of your weed would still be sucking up water and nutrients. So that's why it is important that when you are weeding, you make sure that that is out. So you also have a few weeds around here. So you make sure that there are different tools you can use, but mostly you use your hoe, and you can also use your hands to thin out the weeds that you find. These drips are very delicate. So when you are weeding, you make sure that you shift your drip line like this, because it's so easy to break them. So you make sure that you weed like this, like I was telling you, get them, uproot them, and make sure that the roots are out. And likewise, and you have to be very careful to not end up removing your plant when you are doing your weeding, especially for those weeds that are very close to your plants. It is advisable that you actually thin them out using your hands. But those that are very far out, like these ones, you can go ahead and weed them out like this. Weed them out like this. Anything that's very close to, as you can see, these weeds are sucking up a lot of water. It means that you will be required to water your plants a lot more than necessary, because you would be feeding many plants, including weeds. And one of the characteristics of weeds is that it grows faster than the desired plant. So we have to make sure that the application of water is right. But if you have too many weeds, it means that your plant will not have lots of water. Those who can afford, it is advisable that you invest in drip irrigation because it saves a lot of water and it makes you, enjoy growing your crops year in and year out. After you finish weeding, you may want to open your drips. And I'll demonstrate how that is done, so that they can now enjoy so much water and so much nutrient. I would like to open my drips. You can see now it's doing what it's known by, to drip water. So this is dripping. One of the things that I would like to also mention about green pepper is that it is too leafy. There are a lot of leaves, so it's important that you keep removing the weeds like we do with tomatoes. They're called suckers. There are a few suckers in here, but you make sure that a plant like this one, when you apply fertilizers that enhance the development of flowers at this stage, you have a problem where when these green peppers begin to grow, they will grow and begin to touch the ground, and also they would have problems with that. So when a plant is of this age and it's got flowers like this one, I can see it's already beginning to flower. These flowers, we remove them. You remove the first flowers. This is so that, first of all, the fruit formation takes a lot of nutrients. So you want to make sure that your stem is strong enough to hold many peppers on it. So that is the reason why you have to make sure that you have to shake off. You have to shake off all the flowers, the early flowers, so that the pepper does not form. So you will have to wait until your pepper is maybe this high. When it puts flowers, then you can let it now bear the fruit. That way the stem is strong enough to hold the load that comes with the multiple peppers that would grow on that. Otherwise, this is too frail, too weak to hold so many of them. So this is the reason why you have to keep on removing the leaves, prune all these leaves out, and make sure that you shake off the flowers in here. So this is what I wanted to demonstrate to you about how to take care of green pepper. And I'm also going to, after this, we're gonna go on a break, and after the break I'll take you to my next crop, and where we'll discuss the disadvantages of open farming. And in open farming, I mean like where you just grow your crops on an open area. And I'll take you there after the break, and I'll explain more about it. Thank you.
Mr. Lisulo also took us to the green beans field that has been hit with frost. Let's now join him as he explains the disadvantages of open farming.
We are now in the green beans field. I did talk about the open planting, which is basically what we are doing here. We are not growing this crop or beans under a shade net or under a greenhouse. So what happens is that this area gets as cold as 0 degrees. And the biggest problem that we have is frost during the cold season. What you are seeing, the brown leaves here and the lifelessness that you see in the leaves and perhaps some of the stems is as a result of the frost, and it basically kills the plants. And so as you can see, these plants died from frost. It gets so cold, and then also what that does is that it delays the formation of the beans pods. So it is a huge disadvantage that we have, and that's why it is important or necessary to make sure that certain crops like green beans, even green pepper and many others need to be grown under a shade net. We'll be spraying these beans with foliar fertilizer that will be able to improve its appearance. So all of this, if you spray this week, after a week or so, this leaf begins to change its color and it develops that green pigment. And as you know that photosynthesis happens in the leaf of a plant, so the more healthy plants you have, the more healthy bean pods you will have equally.
Welcome back, viewers. We are now at the last stage of Mr. Lisulo's farming. He's into horticulture. I'm sure you heard everything that he taught us from the beginning up to now where we are at the greenhouse where he grows different types of seedlings. Mr. Lisulo, we can see you've got a variety of the herbs. So just kindly explain again to the viewers what goes on here and the different types of the herbs and how you even water them.
We start doing our nursery from here. We do put them in these growing trays or plant trays, some people call them, but we don't use ordinary soil when we are actually planting. We use what is called a growing medium. It's a very rich kind of soil. It's also very organic. It helps enhance growth for a plant, and the plant grows quickly with the rightful nutrients that it needs. Our idea is to make sure that all the herbs are actually grown from this particular greenhouse. And this is the reason why we have those beds over there where we have actually planted parsley, we've planted coriander, and we've planted the lemon balm. I'd like to demonstrate how to use a nozzle. It's got various settings. You have a center, you have a cone, it sprays differently. There it sprays differently. There it sprays differently. There it sprays differently, but we use the shower, which is like this. This is what we use when you are actually watering. As you can see, it's very gentle. Very, very gentle on the plants. And there is no chance that this nozzle will scatter the seeds. So this is how we do it in here. You have to take your time and be gentle as you do this.
So what are the benefits of growing your own seedlings, sir?
The benefits of growing your own seedling is that to start with, you will be very sure of the variety that you are actually dealing with.
In every situation there are disadvantages.
Yes.
What kind of disadvantages do you face, and what do you need from the relevant authority out there?
The disadvantage is that the rate at which I am growing is very slow because I don't have access to grants as well as say loans to help, expedite, the process or the rate at which I'm doing my farming. I have to basically buy all the implements from my salaries and a few other business that I engage in. So my plea for me is that it would be nice for young farmers or upcoming farmers to be given access to these grants, to make sure that it is easy for us to grow food for the nation. And I know that the president is talking about everyone investing in agriculture. It's one thing to make that pronouncement, but also it's another thing to be practical about it on an upcoming farmer like me. As you can see, we call this a greenhouse.
Yes.
But this is not a proper greenhouse. So this is just an innovation. So we need to be able to be in a place where we can easily get a loan and buy a very big greenhouse and be able to do this.
Thank you so much, sir, for having us at your farm. We really appreciate. We learned quite a lot.
You are very welcome.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, viewers, there you have it. Our farmer for today was Mr. Owen Lisulo here at Kweli Farms. He was teaching us how he does his horticulture. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, my name is Mutin Tanyanga and this is Let's Go Farming.